Hey y'all, welcome back. So today I'm doing something different. I'm gonna try this out, and I think this may be a series. I plan on doing this every Sunday. Got tangles. Where I just sit down, restyle my hair, and talk to you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for my dog because he was silent until I started filming. But yeah, I figured I'd come on, do this with you guys because I think the majority of us tend to take the weekends, especially Sundays, to do our wash routines because those are typically the days when we have the most time. And I know that in my natural hair journey, sometimes the only thing that would motivate me to actually do my hair was to watch natural hair videos. Because sometimes it's nice to feel like you're just hanging out with a girlfriend and doing your hair. So, I wanted to come on and take this time to first talk about why I no longer use Shea Moisture, because I never did clarify to you guys why I was no longer using their products. I did do a video about the whole Shea Moisture debacle, and I told you guys that I was kind of like 50-50 on it. First, I will go ahead and mention, in case you do that, if you guys do want to know, I'm going to be using the Garnier Chronicles buttercream. Looks like that. Going to add some avocado oil. This is the Silk Elements brand, but avocado is avocado oil. And then the Myella Organics honey and ginger styling gel. So that's what I'm using in my hair. I'm not going to talk about the products because I'm still trying out the Myella Organics gel. I told you guys I wasn't sure if I liked it. So I am doing everything on freshly co-washed and deep conditioned hair. I didn't feel like I needed shampoo, but y'all can see how good my hair looks. And I'm sad because this is from these results are coming from one of my favorite Shea Moisture deep conditioners, actually. The Yucca and Plantain one in the forest green packaging. That mask is life. But let me go ahead and get into that because I did talk to you guys about Shea Moisture a while ago. And I told you guys everything that went down and how I felt about it. So when I did that video, I told you guys that there was a whole lot of talk about Shea Moisture changing formulas, and that a lot of people were saying the formulations were different, but I kept saying like I didn't notice a change in the products. And then I thought about it and I was like, Bree, you have so many products, and I intentionally rotate through a lot of products because I am in college and I don't like having to go back to the store all the time to get what I need. So I just buy a whole bunch of crap sometimes, especially Shea Moisture, because it's easy to find. And that way I often won't have to buy any hair product until like I go back home for my next break. So I realized I was saying that I hadn't felt like there was a difference, but then I hadn't been buying any Shea Moisture because I had so much stockpiled from a buy one get one free. So I decided I was, one, going to check out the stores, and two, going to check online retailers and see what I could find. And I used my JBCO leave-in. You guys know I love that stuff. It was the first product that I showed on this channel. I decided that I would use that as my baseline test because a lot of people were saying that that was extremely different, and they were really unhappy because the JBCO line from Shea Moisture is, I think, one of the most popular lines since the coconut and hibiscus. So I checked a bunch of different retailers and found that on some retailers the name was different. It was no longer Strengthen, Grow, and Restore, but it was the Grow and Restore. And then I went and I looked at the ingredients, and I know that it's still the same on Ulta. I haven't gone back and checked since I did the research, but when I looked at the JBCO leave-in on the Ulta website, the ingredients were completely different. So I know that typically retailers' websites are typically holding the correct information unless there is a glitch on the site. So the first thing I noticed was that on my jar, which I actually just finished, the second ingredient was castor oil. On the ingredients listed on the Ulta website for the JBCO leave-in, the second ingredient was shea butter. Now, you guys can go online and just look at different retailers and look at the differences and how a lot of this stuff is changing across retailers and all that good stuff. So, I noticed that fragrance was higher up on the list. Just honestly, what I saw, and I know a lot of people were saying that they felt like Shea Moisture was changing the formulations to better suit white people. I don't think that's the case. I think what they're doing is that they are taking cheaper ingredients and putting them higher on the list and taking those marketed active ingredients that are more expensive and putting them on the lower part of the list. So there's less of that ingredient, they're spending less money and still charging you the same price, if not more. I don't think it has anything to do with catering to looser hair textures, because I don't know about y'all, like I know a lot of white women that use Shea Moisture, but I don't know a lot of white women that are dousing their hair in shea butter, that's for sure. Actually, the JBCO leave-in was one of the few leave-ins that I could suggest to anyone who had like from 4C hair all the way to white women who had really loose curls. One of my best friends actually uses that, the old formula of the JBCO leave-in, and she swears by it. It was the only thing that tamed her frizz. So I do think that that was a universal product for a lot of people. And I know for a fact for my hair, things that are heavily laced with shea butter don't moisturize my hair. They'll seal in the moisture that I have applied to my hair, but they don't actually moisturize my hair. And y'all know that I'm the type of person, I'll do like leave-in, oil, gel, or whatever. If my leave-in is laced with shea butter, and that's the only active ingredient in the product, then, well, I'm not sealing in any moisture. So I was really upset, and I noticed these changes not just with the JBCO line, but with other lines. And I had watched some interviews with the Shea Moisture CEO, and one thing that really concerned me was that there were all these interviews, but it was like Black women were completely excluded from this mainstream conversation, which doesn't make sense because we're the ones who are saying like, hey, Shea Moisture, what the hell? And those are the opinions that should be heard. So that bothered me anyway. But the CEO was very condescending in talking about the formulation changes and saying that they only change things if they're regulatory. Sometimes it's not that the formula changed, but it's the scientific or Latin name. Listen, y'all, that's bullshit, and I will tell you why. I know this full well. I took 4 years of Latin. Could have gone on and taken it at college if I wanted to. I have medals in etymology. I know what the hell I'm looking at. I know what the words are. Not to mention, I'm a science major, so like I can recognize scientific names of ingredients. I'm very heavily educated on plant biology, so I know their common names. I know their Latin or scientific names. The formula has changed. And even if you say, oh, well, if something changed and it was just regulatory, the formula still changed. Like, that just really pissed me off. It was so condescending. And from that moment, I just decided, I was like, I'm not going to take up for, spend my money on and side with a brand that just won't be transparent. That really bothers me because we have a very clear issue with what happened with that commercial and the ways in which we market natural hair and the way Black women are treated in the natural hair movement. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're not going to be honest about formula changes, then you're not going to stand up for like big issues. You're just not. If you if you can't stand up for little things like formula changes, you're not going to stand up for the big things that are happening in the community. And my thing is that I don't mind a formula change. Companies change formulas all the time. Camille Rose has had to change their formulas. There are so many brands that I can list off that have had to change their formulas over the years because people are really sensitive to glycerin, or the product just wasn't being received well, or yeah, sometimes it's regulatory. And to be able to sell in a wider market, you have to change an ingredient or, take away an ingredient for it to be marketed in certain places. Like, I understand all that. I understand sometimes there are bigger issues that force you to change things. And I get that. The thing that I don't like is the dishonesty. I highly suggest that every single one of you go onto the Shea Moisture Instagram page and look at how many women ask them about formula changes, how condescending they are, or women that just ask certain things in general. I know that there was a post where I had commented, it was underneath a photo of their JBCO line, and I told them, I was like, this used to be one of my favorite lines, and now you're changing the formula, and I'm not happy, and I don't know if I can support you guys anymore because you haven't been open to that. And the first thing they said was, we've never changed our formulas. Sometimes things have to be changed because of regulation, but our formula is still the same, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. So I responded and I said, well, I went to the store to check out the JBCO leave-in because I knew I was running out, and the formula was different. It was different, and I did not buy it. And then I also said, also on other retailer sites, the formulation for the JBCO leave-in is different. Now, you can't dispute that. If it's up on the site and it's different, that just is what it is. Whoever is running the Instagram page for Shea Moisture is an idiot, because they really had the nerve to ask me to screenshot proof. Yes, they asked me to screenshot proof. Now, let's not forget here, one, Shea Moisture gives the information to these retailers to display for their products. Those retailers don't just make that shit up. You know what is on a site. So don't ask me for proof, because you know what the hell y'all are doing. That's just bull. And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, these people don't need my money, because it just sounded entitled and almost catty. And you will go on their Instagram page every day and see someone saying, why are you changing the formula? And they will basically talk down to you like you don't know what you're talking about. But you have jars and you have information online right in front of you that clearly shows that the formula is different. I don't understand why they're acting like they're hiding a dead body or something, but I don't have time for it. And it's like I said, if you can't be upfront about little things like that, then you can't be upfront about big issues. And I don't trust Shea Moisture to speak for us. I just don't. And I don't want to support a brand that can't be honest and transparent, because honestly, I use way too many brands that treat their customers well, that listen to their concerns, especially smaller companies that you know, the CEO will talk to you directly. I don't have time for it, y'all. It's too much. It's too much drama. And then I also mentioned in my stash video, in one of those interviews, the CEO of Shea Moisture was saying that if you boycott Shea Moisture, you are essentially taking away their ability to support women in Africa. And first of all, I hate how black people do this. Like, listen, we all know that there are different climates in Africa in terms of economics, social aspects, all of that good stuff. I'm not denying that at all. But please, please don't start with the savior complex. That really kills me. I really hate the savior complex that especially a lot of men have about women in Africa. And don't get me wrong, I know his background. I know the background of the Shea Moisture company. But please, please, please don't act like you need us to do good things, because the reality is it's not true. Them donating 10% of their proceeds from a product that is marketed at like almost $15. Yeah. And I also mentioned that there are other brands that do similar things way better than Shea Moisture does. Let me remind you, that are owned by African individuals, and there's no guilt tripping and there's no drama. Like I said, if you really do care about the community commerce program that Shea Moisture has, start shopping Alafia. They use the same concept that Shea Moisture did with way better ingredients. Now, I'm not saying that Shea Moisture has terrible ingredients, but they don't have the best. They're not all natural, and we all know this, but they have better ingredients. They share the same message and the same ideology, and they do the same things that Shea Moisture does. So if I know that sometimes it's important for us to feel like we're a part of something, and sometimes you have to find other ways to feel like you're a part of something. But really, guys, like, don't let someone rolling in money sit there and guilt trip you. Honestly, like, any person that just has the opportunity to start a coalition, start an initiative, start programs, or donate money, has the opportunity to help people that don't have everything that they have. And I'm tired of the guilt tripping. And I guess that gets under my skin because I am an activist, and working in advocacy, guilt tripping is not the way to go. If anything, that makes people not listen to what you have to say and not care about the things that you're working toward. So I am very anti-guilt trip. I just find that it makes you sound, it sets up a very strong sense of us versus them. The us being, I'm the person with the money, I'm the person with the education, I'm smarter than you, I have a very wide vocabulary, and I know how to talk at you, and I might not really know all the things that I'm saying, but I sound like I'm important and I sound like I'm smart, so you should listen and do the things that I say. Those being the us, and them being the people that, 1, invest in your products, 2, are not as rich as you, 3, may or may not have the same education level as you. I'm just not about it. I'm not about the condescension. I'm very well educated, and sometimes I do find myself doing that, not intentionally. I think sometimes when you have a lot of educational tools and you're learning a lot and you're excited about the things you're learning, you have a very unfortunate tendency to talk at people and not talk to them, and therefore you make those people feel like they're not on the same level as you. And that's one of those things where you have to check your privilege. I am not afraid of saying that as a black woman, I still have privilege. And I do, because I'm highly educated. My parents made sure that I was highly educated at a young age. My mom is a teacher. I have been immersed in books and reading and education my entire life. So yes, I'm highly educated, and because of that, I have a lot of privilege. Education is definitely a privilege. And people like the CEO of Shea Moisture aren't checking their education. They aren't checking their money. They're not checking their privilege. He needs to check his privilege, because he would not be in the position that he's in if it weren't for Black women. So don't sit there and talk to us about disenfranchising other people when you treat us like the stereotypical disenfranchised Black woman. So that's how I feel about the whole Shea Moisture thing. I was trying to hold out for them and see if they would make a change, but I feel like a company that runs on that level of condescension, there's really no hope for that. I'm not interested at this point, and I'm not interested in spending my money on it. Y'all can get an accurate representation of how long it actually takes me to do my hair, by the way. Because I know sometimes it seems like we just run through our hair because we speed up the videos and it looks like it's so easy. And it's easy for me now because I do the same manipulation every time, and my hair knows what to expect. If, let's say, even if I part my hair differently, like if I don't part my hair to the right but I part it to the left, it takes me much longer to do my hair because my hair is out of its element. My hair definitely likes consistency when it comes to a routine, so I stick to that. That's one thing that I can highly suggest to you guys. And I feel like this is regardless of texture, because I've said this to a lot of like my 4B, 4C friends, and they tried it and they found that it works so much better for them. Once you find something that you like, something that you can actually fit into your routine, stick with it. Now, I do adjust as my hair grows. You know, you never know how your hair is going to react the longer it gets. So, like, I'm bra strap length now. Like, if you stretch my hair out, I'm bra strap length. My brother actually ended up discovering that. He was playing in my hair and pulled out one of my curls in the back, and he was like, Bree, like, your hair literally hits your bra strap. I don't do length checks because I find that it starts paranoia, and I feel like the best way for me to keep my hair healthy is if I'm not obsessing about the length of it. So, now that my hair is bra strap length, when my hair is stretched, it does start to touch my clothing. It gets a lot more friction, so I do have to give my ends a little bit more TLC. I do need a trim, so I do have to adjust what I do as my hair grows, but I still do 3 sections, apply my product in smaller subsections. So my products change, but my method stays the same. That's what it's really about. And I think if you stick with something, just find something, stick with it, try it for a month and see if it works for you. If it works for you, just keep doing it. I've been doing the same routine for 2 years. Kid you not. I don't switch it up, and that's why now, because my hair is so used to this, it's really hard for me to try other styles like bantu knots or braid outs. I used to bantu knot my hair all the time when I was transitioning, and now because my hair is used to my method when I do my wash and goes, my bantu knots and my twist outs don't come out the same. That's okay. And I mean, also I have more length, so now if I want to do those styles, I one, have to take a lot of time out of my day, and I two, have to really just work at them and keep practicing and keep practicing. So, you know, just don't assume that people with hair like me have it so easy, because literally the only reason why my hair is easy to deal with is because I made it that way. Um, we all know what our hair likes and what our hair needs, and we also know how to get our hair into formation. So, my wash days, like I don't need an entire day to do my hair because I figured it out. I used to take the entire day to do my hair. I'd pre-poo. It would take me a bajillion years to finger detangle in the shower. Because I felt like that was what my hair needed. And then I discovered that I could do easier manipulation on my hair. I just had to get my hair used to doing that easier manipulation. And now my hair is, you know, down with it. She's cool with what we do. Other thing that I wanted to talk about today is this new wave of criticism of biracial people in the natural hair community and those of us who apparently aren't black enough to be considered natural. I'm sure y'all have seen, and I'll link Hair Mary's video that she did about that post that's going around that has a picture of Fro Girl Jenny, and saying how biracial people have hijacked the natural hair community, and then also went into essentially an even longer rant about that. Essentially, when it boiled down to it, was stating that to be natural, like the real natural, is 4C, you know, having 2 black parents, etc., etc. And I've been hearing this a lot before. First of all, let me say, 4C women have it hard. 4C women definitely have it hard. I think the problem is that now we've gotten so good at pointing fingers that we forget that, like, all of us had it hard. And the whole thing about biracial people is that they didn't ask to be put in that position. And yeah, they should use their platforms to talk about bigger issues and talk about the things that, you know, dark-skinned 4C women go through in the natural hair community and the lack of representation in commercials and branding and all that good stuff. That would definitely be nice to see. I don't understand how y'all expect these women to do that if all you do is demean them and point fingers. That's never gotten anybody anywhere. And I can just tell y'all now, like, the thing that annoys me the most is that I will have 4C women, 4B, 4C women tell me that because I'm 3B to 4A, my life was easy. The thing is, the thing about having good hair, because I don't feel like I have good hair. I feel like everyone's hair is good hair. I think 4C hair is some of the most beautiful hair on the planet. It's so versatile, it's so beautiful, and just magical. Like, the things that 4C hair can do is just amazing. And the thing is, when you grow up being told that you have good hair, you automatically turn into an object for the black community. Everyone feels like they can say whatever they want to you. Everyone feels like they can do whatever they want to you. And I need y'all to understand that that's not a good thing. I think a lot of people see it as, oh, well, you get so much representation. The reality is that representation is a teeny tiny minority of those of us with 3C to 4A hair. The majority of us don't have huge platforms. The majority of us aren't being shared on these natural hair pages. I mean, shit, like, I don't get shared on natural hair pages, and I'm okay with that. I'm not looking for YouTube fame. But, the reactions that you see on social media don't reflect the majority of what us 3C women go through. And, y'all should remember that. It's not a representation of real life for us. And I think a lot of people feel that it is a representation of real life for us because the 4C women are getting dogged out constantly. So I mean, if that's your experience, you can only see your experience. You can't see and understand someone else's experience. Like, that's impossible. The thing is, I have been mistreated, you know, for my hair, like, my whole life. Of course, I got the good hair comments, but I also was met with a lot of bullying and a lot of objectification because of my hair. Now, I started getting relaxers around, like, 2nd grade. I guess I was, like, 8 or 9, 7 or 8, maybe. I honestly, like, my memory is failing me right now, so don't judge me, y'all. Oh, this actually looks really good. Can y'all see that? Okay. Y'all know that I haven't had the best time with this My Organics gel, so I'm just testing it out. I like to test things out at least 3 different times before I do a review on it. So I'm not going to do the praying hands method because I don't want to manipulate this too much. But one of my oldest memories of having, well, not oldest, but most distinct memories of having relaxed hair was the "she thinks she cute because her hair long" comments, or the people that thought that I didn't like black people because I looked a certain way. I remember, like, hearing other darker skinned black girls say to other black men, like, "oh, she don't like us." And it was funny to me because it had nothing to do with me not liking them and everything to do with the fact that I was just really shy. And it didn't help that the one person that I was really sitting with and talking to on the bus was a white guy. And that was because I knew him. We went to the same middle school, and I went to a high school that was outside of the district of my middle school. I was in a magnet program, so very few of us got in. To get into that school, if you're not already in that district, you have to go through a lottery. So only like 4 or 5 of the people that I went to middle school with actually went to that school with me. So I didn't know a lot of people, and I wasn't super confident in myself when I was in high school. So that didn't help my case either. But I remember, now I will tell y'all, I had long hair when I was relaxed. It wasn't as long as it is now. I have definitely surpassed the length that I was at when I was relaxed. But I remember sitting on the bus one day, and I could always hear people talking about my hair, wanting to know if it was real. Like, there's no way her hair is real. There's no way her hair is that long. And I've gone to stylists that thought I was showing up to their salon with a weave in my hair. Kid you not. And then they touched it and they were like, "oh my God, this is your hair." Like, I got used to those comments. I became desensitized to that. But I remember sitting on the bus and talking to my friend one day, and someone from all the way at the back of the bus crawled across the seats and yanked the back of my hair. And honestly, y'all, I don't know how I didn't get off of that bus with a bald spot, but I definitely lost quite a bit of hair when she did that. And when I asked what the hell was wrong with her, she was like, "I just wanted to see if it was real." And I'm sitting there like, what makes people think that they have the right to touch me and abuse me because they want to see if my hair is real? Like, first of all, that's none of your business. Black women wear weave all the time. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, girl, if it's on your head, then it's yours. You paid for it, whatever. But honest to God, this girl almost pulled all of the hair in the back of my head out because she wanted to know if it was real. And that is just like the scenario that can pretty much overarch the majority of my life and how I felt with my hair. And I think the worst part about it is that when you have hair that people perceive to be as good hair, black people feel like they can tell you what to do with it and that they can put a value on who and what you are. So, for example, I remember the first time I did a real serious cut. And a lot of my friends were supportive of it, but I remember other black people looking at me and telling me that I wasn't pretty anymore because my hair wasn't long. They felt like they had the right to tell me that because they had quantified my worth and my beauty with the length and the silkiness of my hair. And I'll tell anybody, I've always felt like everyone else cared about my hair way more than I have. Of course, I want it to be healthy, and I felt like I was one of those few people that actually had healthy, relaxed hair. Like, my hair wasn't shedding a lot, it wasn't breaking a lot. I had reached a really nice length. I think I wasn't quite bra strap length, but I was getting close before I cut my hair off. And I cut it like about like up here. And you know, that's hard. It's hard to be a kid and have to try to reconcile with the fact that people don't think that you are beautiful when you don't fall into the good hair standard. So like now, because my hair is short, you don't think I'm pretty. So really, you were just into me. You thought I was cool. You hung out with me or whatever because I had long hair, and you felt like I was the beautiful version of black. And no one wants to hear that either. Like, I get so tired of hearing, oh, you're really pretty for a black girl. No, bitch, I'm just pretty. That's just how I feel about it. And I guess for me, you know, I was really good at ignoring it, but I also got it from some family too. Like, I remember going natural and people saying, well, I hope you're not going to walk around like those nappy-headed girls. And, you know, the worst part was that I knew what they meant. I knew they meant like the 4C chicks. And that really hurt my heart too, because I'm like, how in the hell do I stand up for women with hair that people in my circles are so easily willing to mock? Because one, you're already getting called out for doing something somebody doesn't want you to do. Heaven forbid you say that 4C hair isn't nappy, and it's like, people think you are just crazy. And I think that's crazy. I think 4C hair is beautiful. And I feel like everyone has the right to go natural and be natural and have their own experience. Natural hair isn't just for women with hair like me. And I hate that when I hear someone say, oh, well, being natural ain't for everybody. That's not true. Like, it's the hair that grows out of your head, so why wouldn't it be for everybody? Why? Because she doesn't have a curl pattern? That doesn't make sense. I don't get it. But honestly, and I made a comment on Hair Mary's video. Her name is Amber, by the way. Her real name is not Hair Mary. But I made a comment that was talking about, you know, what I just told you guys about, like, literally having people, like, rip my hair out because they felt like they had the right to see that it was real. And someone was like, you sound like a white person. Instead of complaining, why don't you just talk about texturism and colorism and blah, blah, blah. We don't need you to stand for us. And I'm just sitting here thinking like, but y'all get mad when we don't talk about texturism and colorism and representation. So you don't need us to stand for you, but you sitting here, one, talking shit to me, and two, asking me to stand up for 4C women. That doesn't make sense, y'all. You can't sit there and talk shit to somebody and then be like, oh yeah, but by the way, I better see you at the march tomorrow. And I've had people tell me, oh, well, those aren't real problems. You just have hurt feelings. Well, let's be real. Hurt feelings can turn into actions real quick. And if you take every 3C for a woman in the black community and tell her to go over here, and you take every light-skinned woman in the black community and you tell her to go over here, who are you going to have left? And how much are you actually going to get done with the people you have left? Because I have 2 black parents. I have 2 black parents, and I have 4 black grandparents. So, is that not black enough for you? I mean, I've been told that I'm not black enough my whole life. And at this point, at the age of 22, I'm just, you know, I let it roll off my back. Someone's always telling me I act white or I sound white. I don't care. Apparently, having curly hair or having really bone straight, long, relaxed hair, or being a violinist, or listening to alternative rock music, or wearing certain clothes makes you want to be white. And having a specific vocabulary makes you want to be white. And taking AP classes makes you want to be white. You know, like, I can't. And the thing is, what kills me the most is that when people say things like this, they don't realize that they are inherently disrespecting themselves. So because I'm like this, I want to be white. But all those things that you're saying are, you know, the intelligence and the motivation. You're saying that those are all characteristics of white people. That doesn't make sense. Like, how you are inherently disrespecting yourself. And, like, once I understood that as a kid, I didn't have too many problems, you know. It just was what it was. And it was funny because, like, the more those black kids that said I didn't like black people started to talk to me and, like, actually hang out with me, they were like, yo, she's cool as hell. And it got to the point where, you know, they were, like, standing up for me and, like, yo, leave her alone. If you don't like her for whatever reason, that's your business, but don't bother her. Like, she's cool. Let her be. I've always been a champion for black issues because I am black. I go to the rallies. I go to the marches. I talk to community leaders. You know, I'm the type of person that's always calling a senator's office or, you know, just different things like that. Talking to police, like, those things are important too. Talking to the good ones. I've always been that type of person. I've always been the type of person to stand up for other people. And it's annoying because at some point you have to understand that because of the things you like and because of the things you do, there's always going to be a portion of those people that you fight for that would never be willing to fight for you. And it's sad, it's true, but it's just the reality. So the thing that annoys me about this whole conversation about who's really natural and who's hijacking the natural hair community is that no one wants to talk about solutions. Like, you yell at us, you get mad at us for being represented, but you don't give us solutions. And no, making a video about texturism and colorism is not going to fix the problem. We've been doing that for years. You can go type in texturism. You will find so many videos on that from so many different people. We're already doing that. We're already having these conversations and they're getting us nowhere. I'm the type of person, like, you can talk about something all day, but if you're not actually going to do something about it, then it doesn't matter. Let's start some initiatives. Let's start creating more natural hair pages that focus on the wide degree, variety, and breadth of natural hair. Not just light-skinned women, but women of all different, you know, shades of black with all different hair textures. Let's start there. Let's actually start coalitions to talk about some of these things. Let's start some petitions to get more representation of women with 4C hair in these commercials. Like, there are so many things that we can do, and even if they don't work, like, the fact that you tried is what matters. The fact that you stood beside your sister and you tried to make a change in your community for each other, that is what matters. And no one wants to do that. Everyone wants to fight, and no one wants to actually get off of their ass and do something. That's what kills me. And then it makes you tired. Like, I have straight activism fatigue right now because everyone wants to fight and no one wants to do the work. And I'm not going to beg anybody to do the work. I'll get up myself and I'll do it because that's what I've been doing for years. But at the same time, you're not going to sit there and talk shit to me when you yourself won't get off your ass and go do it. I'm not going to hear it. I don't want to hear the woe is me if you're not actually going to get up and do something about it. And I know that sometimes we need someone to come in and say, listen, your voice is valid and your voice is being heard, and that's why you should get up and do something. I'm willing to do that. But at the end of the day, I'm not 4C. So, yeah, I'll talk about these things. And I will support 4C women. But I don't have the right to hijack the story of 4C women. And those stories and those conversations should be coming from you guys, because I can tell you how I feel as a woman with 3C hair, a woman that's been objectified her, you know, her entire existence because of what she looks like, but I can't tell people how you feel as a 4C woman. I can't, because I'm not 4C. So there are certain things that need to come from you guys, and you have to be willing to do that. Also, like, start subscribing to 4C hair channels. And, you know, it's funny because when I started my natural hair journey, I was only following 4C women on YouTube. Their hair wasn't anything like mine, but I will tell you, I took a lot away from following 4C women on YouTube. Because y'all have some of the best tips on retaining moisture. Like, I'm just being for real. A lot of 3C women are walking around with dry ass hair because they don't know how to retain moisture. Because it's not just about your hair type, like, it's about your porosity. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, your porosity, your density play a huge role in the way that products apply to your hair and the way that you get moisture into your hair. So there are a whole lot of women with 3C hair that are walking around with dry ass hair and they don't know it. Or a lot of women with 3C hair who think that their hair being oily is a sign of moisture, because it's not how you know your hair is moisturized. I could make a whole video on that, y'all, because that's a totally different topic. But I was following 4C women when I started because they had some of the best tips. Like, y'all, if I will throw a party if African Export comes back. Like, I'm not kidding you. I loved her channel, and I got so many great tips from her. 4C women have such a deep wealth of knowledge, because you can be 4C but still have fine hair, or you can be 4C and have coarse hair. You can be 4C with fine hair and low density. You know, I feel like 4C women have like this insane breadth of knowledge when it comes to hair. And I really feel like 4C hair should be the starting point for how Black women understand their hair. Because I feel like there is more, for me personally, I feel like there's a whole lot more that a type 4 woman can teach me than a type 3 woman. Because oftentimes, because we're told our hair is easy to deal with, we oversimplify everything. And I'll just tell you, like, a lot of the tips that I have gotten have been from type 4 women. Like, the only other 3C channels that I would watch were Mahogany Curls and the Glam Twins. And honestly, like, I got good tips from the Glam Twins, but I got more tips from women with 4C hair, because I was struggling with keeping moisture in my hair, and I wasn't getting those good moisture tips from them. So, you know, I feel like it's a matter of, we all need to step up to the plate. Not just women with looser hair textures, but women with kinkier, coilier hair types, because we can't be the only voices. Like, y'all have to say something too. Y'all have to stand up, and you have to tell us what you need. I can't give someone something if I don't know what they need. And that is one of the things I loved about being in activism, is that you get to go out into communities and talk to people on a real personal level and find out what it is they need, what it is that keeps them from speaking out. Sometimes it's that, you know, you don't agree with what's happening, but the people that are at the root of the things that are happening are also the people that write your paychecks. There's so much that goes into activism and getting to learn the realities of, you know, different people. And at the end of the day, I need my 4C chicks to stand up, not be angry, because all of us have been angry for a while. We can't do anything with that. We need to channel that anger and frustration into something positive, and we need to have an actual conversation and not just a shouting match about who had it easier, because it was funny when I got that comment on Hair Mary's video, because there were a lot of different comments in the comment section that almost exactly mirrored the things that I had gone through. So a lot of us are going through similar things. Like, we're experiencing similar problems, and we're tearing each other down because we're going through pain Olympics. We want to talk about who had it harder, who had it easier, who deserves more recognition and more credit. And at the end of the day, like, we all deserve recognition and credit, because we all had to overcome many of the same things. And let's be real, like, when we're talking about the issues of our safety and our comfortability in society, white people don't care if you're 3B or 4B. They just know that you're black. They know that you don't look like them. And this is allowing us to create one more divide that is going to prevent us from actually working on these big issues. And I'm not saying that this is not a big issue for us, because it definitely is. It touches all of us. And at the end of the day, when I think of this, I think about little Bree, and I think about how I don't want my kids to grow up thinking that something is wrong with them, or thinking that they have to kiss someone's ass because their grade of hair is different than someone else's grade of hair, and then they should feel bad for that. Or I don't want my kids to feel like they're going to be objectified because their hair looks a certain way. Like, I already get it, y'all. Like, people tell me that my kids are going to be really cute based on their hair. And I already told y'all I'm going to be adopting kids anyway. Like, I plan on having my own kids, but I'm going to have at least 1 or 2 adopted children. So, you know, it's already starting with the generation that I'm going to be involved in producing. They're already being objectified for their parents' hair. And we do it all the time. You see it all the time with, like, this fetishization of light-skinned children. It's disgusting. It's wrong. It's awful. But I don't know that many people that really enjoy being fantasized and fetishized over and being objectified in that manner. Because like I said, so many things that I have seen happen to 4C women have happened to me, just in a different context. And you can't diminish someone else's experience because you have never been through what they've been through. This is not a all lives matter thing, y'all. Like, we're all black. And I think if we sat down and talked to each other, we'd see how many things we've gone through that are similar, in spite of the things that make us different, in spite of whether you're dark skin or light skin, or you have curly hair, or you have kinky hair. Like, so many of us have gone through all of the same things in spite of those differences. And we have to start somewhere. Like, I want to hear from people who actually want to talk about solutions, because being angry and pointing fingers, there's no solution when that's all you do. And I would love to have productive conversations about this, and I would love to do things about it. I would love to help, especially with this channel, use my itty bitty platform as a way to stand up for my black sisters. But I can't do that if I don't know what y'all need. Like, that's like going to the doctor and saying, oh, it hurts. What hurts? Tell me what you need so I can help you fix it. You know, we're yelling at each other and we're driving at each other, but no one's coming up with actual solutions. And that's what I need. I need actual sound information of what is it that you guys expect from us, because there are a whole lot of things that I'm capable of doing. Like, I'll go all the way out. I'll stand on a highway for y'all. But I can't do it if I don't know what you need. And it's not fair for people to demonize another group of people and tell them that they need to support them, but they don't tell that group of people that they're demonizing what they need. Like, we got to start somewhere, y'all. So now I'm just rambling, but yeah, I really wanted to talk to you guys about those two things because really been getting under my skin, especially like this whole talk about 4C and dark skin is the only natural that there is. Like, at the end of the day, if you knew what it was like to have a relaxer and you transitioned, you big chopped, you went through the process of discovering what your natural hair is and, you know, your potential and learning to love yourself, then you're natural. Like, no one can take that away from you. And it's not okay to try to take that from other black women. It's not. So, if you have an axe to grind that axe with yourself and then come back and talk to us about what we can do. If y'all have been struggling with the same issue, like, leave me some things down below. Like, those 47 people that have subscribed, which thank you, I appreciate it. It's really great to just see that people, there are even just 47 people that give a crap about what I have to say and what I'm putting on my head. But, like, if y'all want to start an initiative, if y'all want to start a group, if y'all want me to get together with some of you guys and start an Instagram page, let's figure out where we can start so we can do bigger things. If you want to eventually maybe take an Instagram page, a super inclusive Instagram page that really focuses on loving different hair types and different skin tones, and turn that into a panel, some type of program for young girls, I am so down, y'all. Like, y'all don't understand. I am so down for that. But I'm one person, and for this to work, all of us, or at least the majority of us, have to come to an understanding that we're actually going to have meaningful conversations with each other and do real work. So if y'all want to do that, I'm down. I am open to listening to anything that y'all have to say about this topic. Just let me know. So thank you guys for tuning in. I don't know what I'm going to call this series yet, but these will be going up every single Sunday, and we'll just sit, we'll do our hair together, and we'll talk. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know. I know a lot of people don't like super long videos, but I do. So, you know, you gotta film what you like, right? So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I will let you guys know how these work for me. This will be my second time using this, so I'll use it one more time, and then I will come back for a review. But so far, this looks a lot better than it did the first time I tried it, so maybe we have some good things going. But yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next Sunday for another one. Bye, guys.